Hello and welcome to gold versus silver makeup looks. So first of all I'm going to start with gold, and I've called it Gold Glamour, and this is the end result. So let's go back to the beginning and I'll show you how it's done. So first of all I'm going to apply my Elemis Pro Radiance Illuminating Flash Balm, which is a really nice moisturising base which works really well as a primer with a mattifying foundation, which I'm going to be using, which is Estee Lauder Double Wear. This foundation works really well when you've got a very moisturised base, and I really like using a very small or flat foundation brush and applying it in thin layers, as it can be quite heavy if you apply it thickly. So I find that if you do it little bit by little bit and apply small amounts at a time with a thin, small, flat brush, that you get a really great natural finish but really great staying power. So to make it really smooth and seamless, I like to use a sponge to finish off with. So this is the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. Then I'm going to do some concealer. I'm going to use this new concealer to me, which is the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer. This is a new product to me and I'm really impressed with it so far. I find that it does really last well. It says it's 16 hours and I would say that's pretty good, and I think that it covers really well any dark circles, redness, and really brightens and illuminates in a sort of highlighting way as well. So it's a really good quality concealer for the price. So then I'm going to go in again with the complexion sponge just to make sure that all the concealer is blended in well. Then for any spots I'm going to use my Clinique Anti-Blemish Solutions concealer with a fine brush and then tap it in with my finger. Next I'm going to use my Studio Fix foundation powder from MAC. Then I'm going to use my Urban Decay Primer Potion for my eyelids before I apply my eyeshadow. Next I'm going to apply my Barry M Bold Gold Waterproof Eyeliner Pencil, which is a new product again for me, and I found it was a really smooth, very soft consistency, which I thought would make a great eyeshadow and sort of primer. So that's what I'm going to use it for. So I'm going to apply it roughly over my eyelids as a wash and then blend it in with my finger just to sort of smudge it out and blend it. Then on top I'm going to use my Natural Collection eyeshadow in the shade Barley, which is a really lovely soft gold beigey colour which sort of tones down the brassiness of the eyeliner pencil but still gives it that sort of sheeny gold look, which is kind of appropriate for this makeup look. So next I'm going to work on my eyebrows, and I'm going to brush through and then use my Suq liquid eyebrow pen, which I've really enjoyed using. It's so simple to use and I love how naturally and quickly you can build up an eyebrow from a soft look to a really dramatic one. Then to hold my eyebrows in shape I'm going to use my Brow Drama mascara from Maybelline. As this is quite a glamorous look, I'm going all out with the eyebrows. Then underneath the eyebrows I'm going to use my MAC Vanilla Pigment, which I'm going to use a flat brush from MAC also, just to kind of contrast from the gold up to sort of a more soft, sheeny, highlighted colour under the eyebrows. Then I'm going to use a 217 to just blend out the eyeshadows together. Then I'm going to use my Revlon Colour Stay palette in the colour Addictive, which is number 500. I'm going to use one of the shades, which is like a soft, taupey, slightly golden brown shade. I'm just going to use that into the crease very lightly just to give a bit of definition. Then I'm going to use my current favourite eyeliner pen, which is my Japanese Lianani waterproof liquid eyeliner pen, which I'm going to use as finely as possible to make a thin line. I'm going to try and hug the edge of my eyelash line and just slightly flick out, as I'm going to put a line lash on top, but for this look, as I want to keep the eyes quite pale, I don't want to go too heavy on the eyeliner. So this is purely to define the eyes and blend the fake eyelashes in with my own eyelashes. Then for a little bit of contouring I'm going to use my Mineralized Skin Finish Natural in the shade Medium Dark, just underneath my cheekbones to give myself a little bit more colour and definition. Then on top of that I'm going to use my Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Soft and Gentle, which is a lovely highlighting golden bronze shade, which is perfect for this sort of more sheeny golden look. Then next I'm going to curl my eyelashes with my Shiseido eyelash curler before I apply my mascara. So this is my mascara routine at the moment. It's a MAC Prep and Prime Lash, followed by number 7 Lash Impact Mascara, which is a sample size and I've been really enjoying using it. It's really lengthening and volumizing. I'm going to use my DHC Double Protection Mascara on my lower lashes, just to make sure that they don't transfer onto my skin below. And for blusher, I'm going to use my Clinique Bashful Blush Long Lasting Blusher, which is really lovely for a soft, quite neutral blush look, not too pinky or too peachy. Then followed by my eyelashes, and I'm going to be using the Eyelure lashes in the number 110, which is a really great, quite volumizing, quite glamorous eyelash look, which I love for stage, but I think is particularly good for a party look as well. So I'm just going to drop those in the middle of my eyelid and then tuck in each side. Then for lips, I'm going to use my MAC Cherry lip liner, and I'm going to apply this all over my lips and blend it in, just to make sure that my red lipstick lasts as long as possible. Then I'm just going to use a tissue to blot the lip liner in place and just mattify it a little bit more before I apply some lipstick. The lipstick which I'm going to use is an Ilia lipstick, which is a really lovely organic natural beauty range, and this is the shade Wild Child, and this is a really lovely moisturising lipstick. So because it is quite glossy, I'm going to again blot and make sure that it's as matte as possible before applying another layer, and then hopefully that will last as long as possible. Then for a little finishing touch, I'm going to use my RMK eyeshadow in the shade number 17, which is a really beautiful glittery eyeshadow. I bought this in Japan and I said I'd probably use it in a festive look, so here it is. So I'm just going to dot it in the middle of my eyelids and then around each side of my eye, and then that is the finished look. So I really hope you like this glamorous golden look. So now it's time to try the Silver Sparkle makeup and see which one you prefer. So this is going to be a little bit edgier with the silver and a little bit smokier and a darker lip as well. So first of all, I'm going to apply a Smashbox primer, first of all over my face, again to hold this makeup look in place. It's going to be quite glossy, so I want it to be quite matte underneath. So again, I'm going to use the same foundation. I'm going to use the Double Wear one from Estee Lauder, and again using quite a flat brush and applying it in thin layers, exactly the same as the other tutorial, and again using the Miracle Complexion Sponge from Real Techniques to make sure that everything is blended in seamlessly. Once again, I'm going to use the same concealer, the Lasting Perfection one from Collection, as I'm absolutely raving about this now, as I think it's really brilliant concealer. So I'm just going to focus mainly on the under eye area. As I was saying before, this is going to be quite a glowy highlighting look compared to the golden one. So I'm going to use quite a little bit in a V type shape underneath my eyes, but then also use a little bit on my chin and between my eyebrows on my forehead, and a little bit on the bridge of the nose as well. Once again, for any spots, I'm going to use my Clinique Anti-Blemish Solutions concealer. This is particularly good if you really want to dry out a spot that needs to go, so that's where I'm going to put it. Then to seal all those concealers, I'm going to use my Studio Fix from MAC, which is quite a heavy powder, but as this is a long-lasting, full-on glamorous look, I feel like a little bit of a heavier powder doesn't do any harm. Then I'm going to use my Urban Decay Primer Potion for my eyelids again, just to make sure that my eyeshadow stays in place all night. So first of all, I'm going to use Glow from Topshop, which is a really beautiful cream highlighter, which you can use anywhere you like, and I'm going to use it onto my cheekbones and my brow bone area, and also I'm going to use it as a primer, sort of cream shadow base as well on my eyelids too. Next, I'm going to apply my Urban Decay eyeshadow in the shade Vapor. Now, unfortunately, I don't think they make this anymore, but I think MAC Forgery or Gesso would be a similar eyeshadow. It's quite a silvery white shade, so that I'm going to use as a base all over my eyelid as a wash, and then on top of that I'm going to apply other eyeshadows, and I'm just going to blend it out, make sure all the edges are smooth. I'm also going to apply it as a highlighter shade underneath my eyebrow on the outer sort of half to 2/3 of my eyebrow, not coming too close into the centre. Then I'm going to use my Revlon eyeshadow palette in the number 525, which is called Siren. And first of all, I'm going to choose quite a light shimmery silver shade to apply again over the wash that I've already applied with the Urban Decay underneath. Then I'm going to use the bottom right hand shade, which is again quite a minky but slightly darker shade, into the crease. And I'm just going to make sure that I blend it as I apply it with my fluffy 217 brush from MAC. Then I'm going to use the top left hand shade of the palette, again going into the crease but more focusing on the outer edge for more definition and smoking it out a little bit more. Then I'm going to do a very similar eyebrow routine to the first tutorial and just brush through with my spoolie brush and then use my Suku eyebrow liquid pen to define and make my eyebrows a little bit more bold and a little bit more glamorous. Then I'm going to go in with my Lianani Japanese waterproof liquid eyeliner, but I'm going to go a little bit thicker with this eyeliner compared to the Gold Glamour tutorial. Then I'm going to make sure that I've dusted over all of my concealer and foundation with a little bit of my DHC Q10 powder. Then I'll be using the same trio of mascaras again this time. But first of all, I'm going to curl my lashes with my Shiseido eyelash curler. Then it's time for eyelashes, and this time I'm going to use the Kimberly Walsh eyelashes, which are from the Eyelaw collection, and this is a really lovely eyelash because the outside has slightly heavier, thicker eyelashes than the inside, and I think that's a really lovely, fluttery, pretty look, which I think suits this makeup style. Then I'm going to do a quick bit of contouring with the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in medium dark. Just pop a little bit down my neck as well as on my face. Then I'm going to be using Pink Swoon, which is a MAC blusher, and again to use a Real Techniques blusher brush. I'm just going to use this really lightly on the tops of my cheeks. This is a lovely, quite frosty pink kind of shade. And then on top of that, I'm going to use a Benefit blusher, which is called Throb, which unfortunately I think has either been discontinued or it's out of stock at the moment. I can't find it online, but it's basically a very similar shade and it's got a bit of a glitter in it as well. Then for lips, I'm going to use my Bourjois Editions Velvet in the shade Plum Plum Girl, which is a new shade for me, and this is, I think, is a really lovely berry plummy shade, which is perfect for winter and Christmas parties. To get a really solid colour, I find doing 2 thin layers is a bit better than trying to do it all in one go. It takes a bit of patience, but it's worth it for the final result. And I've decided to put my hair up into a low side chignon as I think this really suits the makeup style. Then for a final finishing touch, if you'd like to try this, you can use the Gosh Extreme Waterproof Glitter Eyeliner, which I think adds a bit of extra pizzazz and great for a Christmas party. And for a final flourish, a little bit of the light silver eyeshadow just in the inner corners. So there you have it, there is the silver sparkle makeup look too. I really hope that you've enjoyed both of these makeup tutorials. I'd love to hear your feedback and let me know which one is your favourite, and maybe you can give one of these a go at one of your Christmas parties. Thanks very much for watching, and please make sure that you subscribe to Dressing Room Diaries on YouTube for further updates and posts. Thanks for watching.